equations with variables on one side and both sides, okay? And now what we're going to look at, we're going to start looking at absolute value expressions. So that means no equation, expression, no equal sign, right? And then on Monday, we're going to take a look at what absolute value equations look like. There you go. Okay? So we're going to look at number 1 here first. Okay? And it says in 2007, a telephone poll was conducted to determine the reading habits of people in the U.S. People in this survey were allowed to select more than one type of book. The survey had a margin of error of 3%. Okay? What does margin of error mean here? Margin of error. If something has a margin of error, what are we talking about there? No. What else?
How often they made an error?
Not quite. Okay. So if you're looking here at the book, let's go ahead and talk about letter A here, and then we'll kind of talk about it. So it says, find the range of the percentage of people who read religious books. All right, so you come down here, you look at your little survey thing here, and it says religious books is 66%. Okay? Now, with that being said, margin of error means that if you guys take like a poll of people, so if you put a survey out there or something, okay? So like if I said, how many people played sports at Cathedral? And I only asked 100 people. Then there's going to be room for error because I only asked 100 people, and maybe that 100 people was not a very good sample population. Maybe there was a lot of theater people in there, or maybe there was just for whatever reason, or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe there were tons of athletes in that sample. Okay, so when you ask for a sample of things, okay, you're taking a small portion of it, and then you're making your numbers based off your results. Now, if I ask all like 1,250 of you guys, then there's no room for error because you've all answered the question. If I only ask 100 of you, then there's probably a little bit of room for error. It's right around that percent, but it might be a little more, it might be a little less. Okay, so when it says a margin of error of 3%, so when I'm looking at 66%, it means that I could go actually below by 3%, or I could go above by 3%. So my range could be, if I go below 3% at 66, where would I be at? So if we're at 66%, and we go down 3%, where am I at?
63.
Okay, we're at 63%. And then if I go up 3%,
69.
okay, 69%. So your range is from 63% to 69% of people who might be reading religious books. Unless we poll every single person, we don't know the exact number. All right? What we've got is an estimate. Here's about where we're at, but there's a little wiggle room. It could be a little lower, and it could be a little higher. Okay? All right, so now if I look at the next one here, it says find the range of percents of people who read romance books. So look down there at the bottom, romance. What do we have down there? 20%. Okay, so we're at 20%, right? And if we know we're within 3, that means I can go down 3 or up 3. So what would my range here be?
17.
Good, 17% to 23%. That's right, 23%. Okay? So we know it's around 20, but it could be within 3% either direction.
Is there a specific way you want us to write?
No, you can literally just write it from here to here.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, there's not going to be a lot of work. This is kind of what I'm just showing you so you understand that you're subtracting 3 and adding 3. But some of this stuff you're going to be able to do in your head. And that's okay. All right? All right, so why don't you guys take a second and try number 2 on your own. Try number 2 on your own real quick.